Talk
Podcast.
about like D&D game related?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think D&D game related.
Okay.
Welcome,
Uh,
welcome back. By the way, I always get you on that. It's
yep.
hilarious.
Uh,
Um, Random topic
well,
tonight. Go ahead,
random
Chris.
topic.
Yeah, it could be
This is
anything.
something I really want to know. How am I gonna get this skull into my head?
Oh my God. Okay, so talk about primers. Let me give you a little primer. I had one magic skull that got broken up by the god Baal of murder, got the murder god Baal, and he sent the powerful skull to 6 different locations in the world. Thousands of years go by, and the skulls were found by certain people. I have no idea how it happened, but those people became sages. Sages of the green skull, sages of the blue skull. Those skulls or fragments of skulls got attuned to that person in a fashion that put the object in their head. So the quote, to take a skull is to take a life, or to take a life is to take a skull, which is what Loxodus has said to you guys.
Hmm.
You guys are finding the sages and you're decapitating them and taking the item out of their brain. That's essentially what it is.
Only two.
Yeah. We have now found the skulls, and the characters or players essentially are interested to figure out how to get the skulls into their own head and what the powers they will be bestowed on them.
Hmm.
And those are question marks for me because I don't really know. We've talked about this before, doing the inverse Total
Total
Recall.
Recall.
Yeah, and I think that's we're in Trigard. It's the most technologically advanced city. It's possible that the call box operator knows a little bit about that.
I I think the uncertainty of that leaves it open to whatever we want to try.
Oh yeah, and
There's not one way to do it. So each sage did it a different way.
yeah, and it's
The
funny.
White Skulls did it with love.
I just know that you're gonna try to shove it in your
Oh,
nostril, you know,
absolutely.
or in your ear or whatever. And the question I have to you is, who's good at medical? Who's good at medical saves? I don't know. What save is a medical save? Is
Some
that survival?
doctor.
It's a survival, right? It's just
That
a
was a
survival.
medicine. That's
Yeah,
a
but what
medicine
is that?
skill.
That's intelligence? No, wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom. It's got to be one of the two. So you're gonna want to have Sprock. You're gonna want to have Sprock the part mind flayer.
Actually, that makes perfect sense. He's done surgery on many, many skulls.
If you ask Jake though, he's gonna probably want to try it on himself first. It's gonna be interesting. Now, what does this mean?
Well,
So let's go back to the skulls for a second.
yeah.
The green skull was obviously Zelda like. It relates to nature. It's not just the good qualities of nature, like what you could talk to animals. Maybe you become
Hmm.
a little bit of a bard, a druid-esque character of sorts. But it also has the negative aspect of nature too, like the rot and
Hmm.
the sublime aspects of the overpowerful aspects of nature, and the circle of life. So what does that mean if you shove the circle of life into your nostril, Chris? What is your character gonna do?
Well, you actually made a really good point. I was like, you get the good and the bad of
Oh yeah,
everything.
yep.
So if you look at artifacts in like pre-made items like the Hand and Eye of Vecna or other like deep artifacts, there's always a beneficial and detrimental effects that happen. So it's like, yeah, you are gonna have that blend of the two. Of I like the idea, yeah. You give life and life is taken.
Oh
Of
yeah. Well, but that's just the green skull. So
yeah.
what I did on my off time, when I say off time, I mean like between sessions every 2 weeks. I would research during when we were in the forest. I just started saying, okay, well, what is the green skull? Let's let's look up the definition of skull and what the meanings of a skull is around the world and the different religions and
Mm,
different cultures. And let me tell you something. It encompasses almost everything: life, death,
hmm
knowledge. There's a trinity. There's a trinity in there, which is cool because I didn't realize it, but the Celtic Doomhand is very Celtic esque in his beliefs. The Trinity, which is why he's really pissed off about when his wife and daughter were taken from him. They were essentially his trinity, and
hmm
but the skull itself has three holes. It's the nose and the two eyes,
mm,
so that makes itself a trinity. And then it's not just like a death thing; it's also like a
yeah.
cool life thing. And then, what is the definition of green? What are the meanings behind green? And a lot of them were,
Mm,
money and power, but also greed.
yeah.
Plant and rot. Uh, you know, I'm going blank on the rest of them. You could have
Mm,
the Irish, the luck of the Irish, and you can also have, a werebear. It's a
mm,
leprechauns and werebears. You could have grass and tree. There's like a lot of different things. And where does that nature stop? Does it mean that you commune with animals and also every other type of um, creature? I mean,
mm,
I don't know. That's going to be something really cool to roll
yeah.
for. And then how do you implement it into a player character without giving him overwhelming power and essentially ruining the
Well,
control of the game?
I think because not every sage is going to be the same.
No.
Every sage is going to blend and merge with the skull in their own unique way.
Hmm.
So I do what you love to do, make tables. You make two tables for each skull, positive benefits and negative
I
benefits.
like it.
And if when you merge with the skull, maybe you get two of each.
Maybe every moon, maybe every now and then it
It
changes.
changes. Yeah.
Maybe you're greedy as hell and
Well,
you
well,
can listen to
and
birds.
or that could be, and also that could be different for each skull. So
Oh yeah.
maybe the green changes with the moon, or the red, which is
The
war.
green is 100% going to change with the moon. It's Artemisia.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Artemis, the goddess of
yeah.
the, you know. But like the red
Well, and
one,
also
yeah,
the
finish your
red,
thought. That was awesome.
say maybe after Aranis kills X number of people, like it builds up this urge, and then something happens and it shifts for him.
Aaron is in a little bit of a predicament that sort of came up randomly last session when he pulled that
Oh,
card, and I decided to have him become more of a war. Like he's gonna get a level of warlock, and
oh,
but it's a dark one, um, and I know you're capable of playing your character as if you didn't know what it was.
hmm
He is a patron, his patron that he owes a debt to, which is how we did it.
yeah,
Um, he needs to kill, and he's going to have a very hard time being around very popular people, especially like kings, queens, to spread the name of death. And I like it. He came up with this by himself. It wasn't me. I didn't. I just said you're going to have a patron. He rolled for a random patron and turned out to be this guy. He did his own research and he sent me this story. It's awesome. Spend some time.
I'm
Spend some time.
excited.
Spend some time doing it. And
Nice.
every full moon or so, he's going to turn into death itself. And you guys, I don't know what monster I'm going to choose for that, but you
Well,
guys,
there's
he's going to
a
attack the weakest person, and he won't stop unless he's killed, unless he kills someone. and it's
Oh,
gonna be
oh.
so awesome. So do you guys carry around NPCs now that you on a chain? But you guys don't know what's happening
We
to him yet.
do kind of have one.
But it's like, and also it's such a cool thing because he's gonna be stuck in this, like, he is Aranis. He's changed. His, he's now chaotic evil, or no, he's orderly evil, lawfully evil,
Hmm.
and he's going to be set on killing something around him, and he won't stop until. So every now and then, you guys are going to have, and when you kill the death guy, he comes back to life as Aaron. So it's possible that
Mm.
he kills one of you guys and then comes back as Aaron and doesn't know. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
I just
on
want to.
on top of that, hold on, let me finish it.
Okay.
On top
Sorry.
of that, you have this element of the red skull.
Mm.
The red, when I did my research, I did the same research stuff with the skulls and the. So I take the theme of the skull and the meaning of the mythological meaning of the cultural references around the world of the skull, and then also with red. What do you get from red? You get rage and love are like the main things. Blood and,
Hmm.
but it's also beauty. Um, which one is he gonna? If he has love in him when he's this type of dichotomy, and
Is great.
it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be awesome. And knowing
Hmm.
Aaron, he's gonna shove that probably up his butt. But uh, I
Well,
want.
we'll see. We'll see where things go.
He might. There are plenty of different orifices. Who knows? It might be a point where, like, you guys are shoving it into your nostrils in different orifices on your body, and like the call box operators, like the call box mechanics, like, you could just use this transponder transport thing that we have.
You can just open up a little flap of skin and just like touch it.
Yeah, I interrupted you. You were gonna say
No,
something.
I was that just talking about Aranis brought up a very interesting thought in my head. You always give us a little bit of crap for being murder hobos. It's kind of hard not to be a murder hobo when the majority of the party has a very real need to kill random people every day.
Yeah, it's very funny. That was random. Okay, first off, th- what happened with Jake was random. I did
Yeah, that
not.
was.
Again, we talked about this last time, in the session before, like 10 minutes ago, about how sometimes you don't read the stat block completely for the thing.
Mhm.
I didn't read the mind flayer thing. All I know is that I wanted, if he rolled, below the level, that the he was going to get infected by mind flayer
Mm.
tadpole. I didn't read the part where it was like, oh, by the way, your rests are not really rests and you have to eat brains. Like, now, I don't know if I read that or made it up, but like that's where we are with him. So yes,
Well,
he's got a murder.
what happened was you read the stat block and yeah, they're getting infected. And then in the next 2 weeks, we're like, all right, what does that mean? And then we like went through it all
Oh
and
yeah, we
the
rolled we rolled for it,
possibilities of what he could turn into and
and we
the true
we rolled
reality of
for it.
what that outcome was going to be.
You know
Yeah.
what? Believe it or not, maybe this Ceramorphous was sort of the way we ran the Ceramorphous, which, by the way, is also posted on our Agoth Doomhand website. The homebrew Ceramorphous, what we did, I put together a table of, like, all the cool benefits that you could have. You can read
Mm.
minds, you could have
Mhm.
their weapons with the tentacle stuff, all this cool
Yeah.
stuff, but there's also a negative too.
Hmm.
So, you have to eat brains. You
Well,
can't. You
that
cannot communicate. You can no longer
well,
speak. He got that. That was funny.
and that's what you do with the skulls.
Yeah,
Make
and
your positive negative tables and
right. Yeah,
yeah.
and like the blue skull. the research I did for that is insane, and I'm happy that Jake has that one. I think I picked Jake for the Blue Skull, like before we
Hmm.
even started. I just like that's all about the mind and like crazy shit,
Perfect.
crazy shit. So yeah, let's get back to it. How are you? I guess you're right. Maybe I'll make two tables.
Well,
And I
do it sounds perfect like how you did the Mind Flayer with Jake. Have positive negatives, and I love the idea that it shifts, it changes.
I'm not really a big fan of when you make these tables, and I'm going to do it. I guess I have to make three. You guys have three skulls. I do have to make three different tables. This is going to be a fun homework assignment.
Well,
Um, but
some of the homework you can offload to the player with the skull.
yeah, and
Hey, what are some cool here themes? What are some cool things that you would want to be able to
right.
do?
Again, yeah, going back to the earlier session, you don't need DMs don't need to be the only people in charge of making the world. So
Let us give you
let
the ideas.
I just did a
Yeah.
post on Instagram about boss fights and how one of the coolest things about boss fights, and I just realized this when I was making it today. I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." You as a DM don't need to do shit. The boss is already there. Everyone wants to fight the boss.
Hmm.
When you get to a boss fight, let the players just do what they're going to do. Because if I wanted to kill you, like everyone outright, and you're like me and don't do the math, you shouldn't have fought a Hydra at level 2, you know? But like, let them squirm, let them figure it out. They will figure out how to beat the thing. Aaron, Aaron, and you, I think, actually started the fire and
It
like
was the Wand of
fired.
Wonder
Yes,
that turned a field of grass underneath the Hydra that we lit on
and
fire.
yeah, yeah. Um, you know, it's just the way it works out. Like boss fights, you don't have to plan it. So again, when you're planning out like what we're going to do with the skulls, do you know how important it is that we figure out what these skulls do? But you know what? I'm completely okay with letting the players decide that. That's so cool. I'm very, very much
The other,
happy to let you guys do it. Of course, I will moderate, and I will, of
oh, of
course,
course.
if you say +2
No,
dagger,
well, no,
like get that out of there. You know,
no, just like the ideas, and you take those ideas and turn them into actual
yeah,
applicable sets.
like perhaps
But
one of the
also this could be level one of merging with the skull.
yeah,
And if you come up with a bigger idea that happens, like, oh, if you once you've done so many transitions with
or
the skull, then you unlock this greater thing that I really want you to have.
if you're in nature, if you're in
If you're in your
love,
zone.
if you're in love,
Ooh,
if you're if you feel rage, like maybe the red skull, maybe you know what, you're going to be able to rage, but you're not going to be
you
able to
don't
control.
get,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't control it, or so we'll figure it out. I think that's a good. This was a good discussion all around. I think
yeah,
it just, and I'm happy that we did it because it's sort of I was having trouble articulating um, in the previous Let's Talk Lore segment about preparing your campaign, and this is how you do it.
yeah.
This is essentially. So there's so many the question marks are still there, but we have an idea, a little roadmap. I'm
We
very
have some paths that we can take.
I'm very interested to see which orifice Jake chooses. No, I'm just kidding. But you're the bard, so I think you're open to. It's gonna be so cool. And quite honestly, like yes, technology is in Triguard. You guys are gonna find certain things that'll help you with certain things. Um,
You're telling me that I have the chance to do a reverse total recall I'm going to take that. Even if it kills Stack, I'm going to try and do that damn thing.
I can't wait. This is gonna be so funny because like you're gonna have Sprock and Aaron is sitting there getting ready to do some medical. And but remember,
We're
I
gonna
don't
we're gonna be in a hospital.
I don't like having everyone roll for medical though. So,
No,
but you
one
you might
person.
yeah. I mean, there is a random roll that you guys come across a doctor that will eventually. I will eventually present him to you guys. Where he has taken the zombie and chained him, it's sort of like the Game of Thrones, where they took the zombie
Mm,
to show everyone that he's there.
yeah.
But he's trying to figure out how to kill the thing.
Mm,
And my idea was to, I told you this before, shrink you guys down and go inside and try to figure out his
yeah.
cellular thing.
Like a
Um,
magic school bus.
maybe but it is going to be a doctor's office. So maybe like
Hmm.
right before we go into this magic school bus, you mind
I,
shoving
I
this?
have I have a procedure I need you to do,
you,
or at
I,
least look over.
yeah, I have a
I
procedure.
had some random guy make this device.
Yeah, and you're gonna roll, and if you get a 4, you're gonna unbuckle your pants, and the procedure will, you
Will it
know.
be
Well, yes, I only know one way. That's doctor. There's only one
well
way.
that way I we can do it, but you won't live. This other way, I think we can keep you alive.
You know what? Let's end this here and let's build this doctor. Let's build this doctor
That sounds
NPC.
good. That
Doctor.
sounds good.
I feel like we should. I'm gonna create his name, but I need a
Yeah.
moment. When we come
Okay.
back, 2 minutes. We'll be back with Doctor Z. Something crazy. That's gonna be hilarious. I can't wait.
That's great.
He's gonna be like he is scared of needles and he carries a tube sock.